If somebody drove 100 miles an hour into the back of your vehicle, would you want the police to interfere?
That's I mean, that's.
But they're traveling. You can't interfere with somebody traveling.
No, I mean you can't. It's stating that a police just can't interfere with your traveling, like pulling you over for a traffic violation or, you know, a tag.
But you want them to interfere if somebody.
Okay. I want to handle this today. It's kind of been lingering over my head for some years now. I'm really tired of it. And but I hear that the state is trying to like give me like 10 days in jail, and that would like absolutely ruin my business, my life.
So
but this is a new world we in right now. That oppression that y'all used to do on us. No, the
first of all, what you ain't gonna do is tell me. What you ain't gonna do is tell me who I am and what I do.
I know exactly who Clayton County is, and I know what they did to my life, and I know how they impressed my life.
That's on you. That's not on me. I don't know nothing about that.
That wasn't my fault.
They don't take it.
Pharmaceutical giants pro se. I sued Fulton County.
So, Mr.
Y'all
Resto,
small potatoes.
They don't take it.
I will bound this case over to the federal district and the U.S. Supreme.
Today, we dive into the tumultuous case of Emanuel Resto, a particularly contemptuous and unruly SovCit. This compilation showcases the escalating tension between Resto and Judge Hayward, making for an unforgettable courtroom saga. We've rolled all 3 of his court hearings into one convenient package with timestamps and chapters in the description. Be sure to watch until the very end, because the final segment is the climax of this epic head-to-head showdown. In part 1, we see a milder version of Resto as he attempts to present his SovCit right-to-travel script to Judge Hayward. But this isn't her first rodeo, so she dismantles Resto's misguided arguments with ease. Part 2 sees Resto return to court without his appointed attorney, but with a newfound gusto and a much more noticeable confrontational attitude. But despite his increased bravado, Judge Hayward remains unshaken. In Part 3, Resto goes head-to-head with Judge Hayward in an explosive showdown for the ages.
Driving on a suspended or revoked license, no license, failure to display license, or failure to have license on person. I'm not sure, it cuts off. And no tag or expired or invalid tag. So that's on the first case. On the case from 2020, 03114, you have a suspended or revoked license. You're represented by Lister and Holt on one of the cases, but not on the other. Did you want Lister and Holt to represent you, or did you want to represent yourself?
I'll represent myself.
On both cases?
Yes, ma'am. I have a quick question as far as locker term when it comes to driver's license. Okay, you're only allowed to have one driver's license, and I have an Alabama driver's license. So when I get pulled over, I actually show them my Alabama driver's license, and it's current. It's the most current, and so they make a determination if they should go off the Georgia driver's license or the Alabama driver's license. And when I present the Alabama driver's license, they let me go because my Alabama license is valid, and you're only allowed to have one, and I had Alabama license.
This is something that you could prove at trial. If you present that information at trial, then that means you want to go to trial instead of taking a plea. I don't know what the recommendation is, and I don't know.
Well, the recommendation was, I think I've been dealing with this case for an awful long time now. So yeah. I don't really want to go to trial. I just want to get it behind me. But I think that the recommendation, I remember the recommendation quite clear. They offered me 40 hours of community service. Is that still on the table?
Okay, no, Mr. Resto, it's more than that. So let me explain why I know it's more than that. So to have a second one, which means that you might be able to enter a NOLO to the first one, but then the second one is outstanding. So when you took a plea to the second one, that would definitely suspend your license. So that's what's on the table. But the next one is going to be 1,000 in addition to that, and that's 1,420. So we're looking at almost $2,000, $2,200.
Your Honor, it's Mr. Resto represented on the particular case that we're referring to.
Well,
I want to address him directly if he's represented, because this is a serious matter.
I get you. So that's why I'm saying, Mr. Resto, you have representation. I can allow you to be represented by on both cases, and they can help you work this out. But understand
well, I was already represented by a listener and Holt, and we kind of been going back and forth with the district attorney's office for a while, and they've been giving me recommendations, and I still didn't take it, but they've been giving me recommendations. I don't know what's changed, but it definitely wasn't $2,000.
Talk to your attorney and let them tell you what the recommendation they have on the table, okay? Because the recommendation, if you're represented, even if you're only represented on one case, the rec is probably going to come to your attorney.
Okay, now, if I enter like an oral motion of dismissal based on constitutional grounds, are you standing on your constitutional oath?
Okay, I'm not sure taken an oath to uphold the Constitution and to make sure that I treat people as the law would direct me to do so.
Okay. Well, I asked this question previously when I was in your courtroom one day in regards to the right to travel under the 14th Amendment, stating that citizens do not need a permit to travel with a horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile without interference by police. And I was on a public highway actually when I got pulled over.
Okay, so that's not actually in the Constitution.
And I don't believe automobiles were around when the 14th Amendment was ratified.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
I just wanted to point out to the court that automobiles hadn't been invented when the 14th Amendment was ratified.
Automobile, horse, drawn wagon, or carriage.
Okay, so
an automobile is not necessarily a car if it's a household good. It's just a form of transportation. It doesn't matter if it's an automobile, horse, drawn wagon, or carriage, because it's still a form of transportation, and citizens have the right to travel without interference by police. So I don't even know how the police are even allowed to interfere with travel when I'm not using my vehicle for commerce.
Your Honor,
it's a totally private household good.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, if somebody drove 100 miles an hour into the back of your vehicle and killed a family member, would you want the police to interfere?
That's murder. I mean, that's if someone got killed.
But they're traveling. You can't interfere with somebody traveling.
No, I mean you can't. It's stating that a police just can't interfere with your traveling, like pulling you over for a traffic violation or a tag.
But you want them to interfere if somebody.
Now, if you murder somebody because
say you don't murder them. Say you just hurt them. Say you just damaged the vehicle. You don't want the police to interfere.
No, that's when it almost becomes like an accident or a crime or whatnot. So the police that's not really an interference. An interference with your traveling, not an interference when two citizens engage in an accident. Police officers, as public servants, they have a duty to serve to the people. So if a car accident occurs, then of course public servants, as far as ambulance, as far as firemen, they will come to the scene just as a service. But for you to just interfere in my traveling is actually a violation of the Constitution.
Well, sir, the Constitution and the cases that have come out of the constitutional jurisprudence allow cities and states and municipal organizations to regulate travel for the benefit of the citizens. So they can put reasonable regulations on travel, meaning you can have a license. They can grant you the privilege of having a license to drive. They can regulate how your license is seen. If you don't have a license, or if your license is suspended, they can intervene to take your license away or your privilege to drive away. It is a crime. You can be convicted of not driving under a proper license. So the government is allowed to intervene in a lot of ways with people traveling. So I'm not sure where this information comes from, but there's a lot of stuff on the internet about traveling and the 14th Amendment and horse and buggies and even maritime law. But
I mean, an automobile was actually created before a driver's license was ever created. So people was actually operating their case pamphlets where people was actually operating vehicles before a driver's license. You guys are actually a conflict of interest, actually, as far as you being in cahoots with the DMV. That's a totally separate entity.
When they receive a traffic citation, they interpret it as the government offering a contract, which they can refuse by not engaging with it. Sovereign citizens believe that receiving a traffic citation or any other government-issued document is an attempt by the government to enter into a contract with them. This belief stems from their broader misunderstanding and misinterpretation of legal concepts.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, do you want to resolve the case? Because it's not
I want to resolve the
40
case.
hours.
I disagree with the fine amount because it changed. I would I would make an offer like I can do $1,000, maybe 12-month probation.
Mr.
But $2,000, that's excessive.
Mr. Resto, we're not negotiating. Those are statutory fines, meaning they're written into the law. I can't even change them.
Can I make a counter offer to the state and say it's $1,000? Can I be?
No,
because I did do time in jail. If the state would see that and count.
That's why I'm saying that you may want to speak with an attorney, because certain things that they can negotiate, I can't change the statute. I can't change what's written in it, but they can negotiate. And if the solicitor wants to give you credit for time in jail in lieu of the fine, those are things that they can do that I can't do.
Yeah. So I would ask to the district attorney, knowing that I did serve some days in jail, can you guys lower the fine and I just go ahead and end this case right now? I can do $1,000.
Mr. Resto, so that's a conversation that you need to have with them directly without me being present, number one. Number two, the reason I keep saying you might want to go through your attorney is because they can explain to you what is already on the table and how that may or may not change, okay?
What's on the table now?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I would rather you have that conversation in a breakout room with the attorney who's assigned to your case and with the state, as opposed to here in the main room. One, because I have other cases that need to be addressed, and two, because that's not information I need to hear.
Okay, is it anything I can do to get this case resolved now? Because it's been lingering on.
I'm telling you what to do, but you're not listening, Mr. Resto. Mr. Resto, I
mean, today, like, I want to resolve this today.
I get that you want to resolve it today, and I'm telling you what to do, but you're not listening to me. I said you can go into a breakout room with your attorney, and the attorney and you can discuss what's already on the table. And then if your attorney wishes to speak with the state to clarify anything, they can do that too. But you're not going to get it resolved by going back and forth with me, because there's stuff I cannot do.
Okay. Just tell the state that I'll take their recommendation. I'll just pay the $2,000 if they can give me 12 months to pay it off. And if I
Sir, Ada have parted ways with respect to your case.
Yeah. Did he file a motion to withdraw?
Yeah. Did you want to go forward without an attorney representing yourself?
Yeah, it seems like the attorneys that the state appoints me, they have a very hard time of like listening to their clients, like what they have to say. Like, I had a conversation with him for like maybe 5 minutes, and he was very like wanted to do what he wanted to tell me. Like, I was raising concerns about the state came off of my bond, and I was trying to figure out why they came off my bond when I show up for court. I gave him no reason to come off my bond, and he said.
So when you say come off your bond, the bonding company has to do that, not the state. So I'm not sure. Like,
well, they filed a motion to come off my bond. That's what he stated.
Okay, is that Free at Last or Atlanta Clayton bonding?
No, not Free at Last.
I have that you.
He stated that the state filed a motion with your court stating that they wanted to come off my bond to where basically I would have warrant on me.
Okay. Miss John VA, do you have any outstanding bench warrants for Mr. Resto? I don't recall signing any, but I may have.
Did the state file any motions in regards to that?
Okay.
No.
So just Your Honor, I didn't know that he was back. I'd already given the file to my assistant. She said she had just sent off the bench warrant to you as well, I think. So
I didn't think.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, Mr. Resto, you're here. So I haven't signed anything yet.
Okay. Does the state have any intentions on trying to come off my bond?
No. So, sir, they don't come off your bond unless you fail to appear. My understanding is you had a medical excuse for being late today. So you contacted
I'm actually still at the hospital. I just had a minor surgery.
Okay. So Miss Val has allowed you to come on to the call today because she knew that you had a medical issue. So we can deal with your case today, or we can give you a continuance until December 6th, but nobody's coming off the bond and the bench warrant will not be signed.
Okay. I want to handle this today. It's kind of been lingering over my head for some years now. I'm really tired of it. And but I hear that the state is trying to like give me like 10 days in jail, and that would like absolutely ruin my business, my life.
So
I have a 2-year son. Okay, I got the documentation from the Alabama motor vehicle department. See, I'm actually an Alabama citizen.
Hold on, I was traveling. Hold on. Let me put you in a breakout room with me and the state so we can hear what you're saying, but we're not putting it all out there in case you want to make a different decision, okay?
Okay. Well, I have no absolute reason to lie, and I really believe
No, it's not that, sir. This is what I would do if you had an attorney who was representing you.
iPhone judge, I'm not sure if he's here for now or 1 o'clock.
For the person who has the Scully on, what are you here for the 1 o'clock calendar?
Because it's only 12:18.
Gentleman with the beard, mustache. Oh, he's connected to audio. I don't think he can hear me yet. That's fine. All right, and the gentleman in the plaid shirt, black hat, mustache that says iPhone. Okay, can you rename your phone for me something close to your real name?
Emanuel Resto. How do I rename it? This is my first time ever doing this.
No problem, Mr. Resto. I'm gonna tell you. If you click on those 3 dots next to your face, you see them? The 3 blue dots?
3 blue dots.
There should be 3 blue dots, but if that's not the case, go down to where it says participants.
Okay.
All right, and when you see your name next to on the list of participants, okay, and where it says you should see something that says more, you see mute, and then you see more.
No, I don't see any
dots.
Okay. Any? Yeah, I mean, okay, we'll say mute.
Yeah, right next to that.
Rename.
That's what. Okay, so I just need you to click on rename and put your name in there. Okay.
Okay.
What calendar is he on? You say Resto is his last name?
Yes.
Yeah, Resto, Resto.
Mr. Resto,
he's on the 3 o'clock calendar.
He's on the what?
The 3 o'clock calendar. He's represented by our office. This is Miss Statlander's case.
Miss Cook, how you getting your people here extra early?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I just send out the link, and I don't change the time in the link. But I do tell them what calendar they're on.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, Emanuel Resto. All right, so Mr. Resto, you're charged with driving on a suspended or revoked license. You're represented by Lister and Holt. You're not here until the 3 o'clock calendar, but Miss Cook, do you have an announcement already for Mr. Resto, or do you need to talk to him?
This is Miss Statlander's case. I'm not sure if they spoke or not, but I could speak with him in a breakout room.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, you're here early, but if we can go ahead and get this taken care of without you having to come back, that's fine. Let Miss Cook see if Miss Statlander has already spoken to you, or if you need to speak with her when she comes out of her breakout room. Okay.
And you're
all right.
Because she ain't answering my question.
Well, what question do you have? Because I'm not clear on who's talking. Who wants me to answer a question that I haven't answered?
This phone is not on mute.
Well, I was trying to ask my attorney.
She's not talking to you though. She's in the middle of another case. So if you could just mute your phone and wait your turn.
Oh, okay. Well, no,
Mr.
I got some
Resto,
questions for you that you didn't answer.
Mr. Resto, you've been before me before now. You know how this goes. Calm down.
Yeah, I'm asking my attorney questions, legal questions, and she's not answering them, man.
Okay, first of all, don't yell at me. Second of all, I can easily put you back in a breakout room, but I'm gonna need you to act like you got some sense. We clear?
I got sense, but man, what I'm not gonna tolerate is when I ask my attorney questions,
Mr. Resto,
she's not answering.
Mr.
Because
Resto.
I'm answering constitutional right questions. And if she's not gonna answer those questions, then I'm gonna just represent myself.
Mr. Resto, we've been through this before. Remember this happened the last time.
And I know that, ma'am. And I know that. And I'm not trying to disrespect your court at all, ma'am. But this is a new world we in right now. That oppression that y'all used to do on us. No, the
okay, first of all, what you ain't gonna do is tell me what you ain't gonna do is tell me who I am and what I do.
I know exactly who Clayton County is, and I know what they did to my life, and I know how they impressed my life.
That's on you. That's not on me. I don't know nothing about that.
That wasn't my fault.
So I don't know anything about that. When you come to my court,
my attorney a constitutional question and she refused.
Well, Mr. Resto, if you say you need to talk to your attorney, that's fine. I can make that happen. But I'm not making anything happen with you acting up.
Any of my constitutional right questions.
Well,
pertaining to my case on the right to travel, I asked her right to travel laws, and she's lying.
First of all, she's understanding the law the way we appreciate the law. She went to law school. Now, whatever school you went to or wherever
I ain't went to law school don't mean I can't.
Mr. Resto, whatever information you got, see, we discussed this the last time. All that stuff that's on the internet that folks start looking up. Oh, wait, first of all, I used to be a public defender. So don't down public defenders. Number one, because
they down their own representation.
Listen to me.
Made a bad representation for themselves.
They practice every single day in court. So they know more than most attorneys who get a case. A lot of these attorneys don't come to court. They are in court every single day. Number one. Number two, they are trained in the law because they went to law school. Now, I don't know where you got your information, but maybe you're just not answering the right question. Give her the opportunity to understand what it is you're asking. But all of that stuff you getting off the internet about right to travel and all that sovereign
that's the Constitution, ma'am.
She's not going to answer that.
That's not the internet. That's the Constitution. You can look up the Constitution. I can go to your law library right there and grab that Black's Law book, and I ask you, what are you identifying me as? What am I being identified as? Am I identified as black? Because I'm light-skinned, so I want to know why am I being identified as black? Because I am not black. I am a nation.
Okay, Mr. Resto, there you go.
No, it's under the color of law. You know the color of law.
Mr. Resto,
you know the Black's Law Dictionary, right?
Mr. Resto, none of what you're saying
am I being identified as a black human?
Nobody's identifying you as anything. I don't know what you are. It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, what's
this got to do with you being charged with driving on a suspended or revoked license?
Okay, my claim is that I was not operating in commerce.
Jesus.
I forgot the case.
So, Mr. Resto,
I was simply traveling.
Mr. Resto, that whole traveling versus commerce thing, that doesn't mean jack doodly. Under the law,
to the Constitution, it does. Maybe not the Georgia Constitution, but to the United States, the Constitution.
Go find the Constitution, Mr. Resto. Go find this part in the Constitution. Well, I'm gonna give you time to go find it. Okay?
No. Listen, I already found it.
You go find it.
Listen, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
You go find what you're talking about. I'm gonna reset your case. Okay?
Reset my case.
Yes, sir, because we're not getting anywhere today.
Oh, but because y'all don't want to uphold the Constitution.
Mr. Resto, you don't even know what part of the Constitution you're referring to.
The right to travel.
Where, Mr. Resto?
It's under the 5th or either the 4th. It's from the 5th to the 4th.
Go find it for me.
Why do I have to find it? You find it.
No, that's not my job.
Ignorance of law. I know the law. So ignorance of law is not.
Obviously, you don't, because you just quoted 2 constitutional amendments that don't mean
nothing.
No,
I'm talking about the right to travel, horse-drawn carriage, or automobile without interference by police, without a permit.
Go find it, Mr. Resto.
I already found it. You got to find it now.
No, you've presented to the court. I'm going to reset you.
Under right to travel, constitutional right to travel.
I'm going to reset you to February 25th. And you find that information, sir. And then when you come back on February 25th.
I don't got to find that information. I already found it.
All right. Well,
Can we clarify if he still wants Lister Holden Dennis to represent him, or if he's going
Yeah, because you have basically insulted Miss Cook. I don't know if I want to represent you anymore.
Her in no way, because it's her job. Listen, let me tell you something. Attorneys submit us under your jurisdiction. They take an oath to the bar to do that. So let's not.
Yeah, but Mr. Resto,
multi-district litigation.
They don't take
pharmaceutical giants pro se. I sued Fulton County.
So, Mr.
Y'all
Resto,
small potatoes.
They don't take
I would bound this case over to the federal district and the U.S. Supreme. And
first of all, Mr. Resto, they don't take an oath to listen to your foolishness. Number one. Number two, they take an oath to uphold the law as it is taught to them in law school, and then they take the bar, pass the bar exam, and then they take an oath. So, Mr. Resto, whatever you understand is not the same thing we understand. And so I've told you this before, we're not putting up with your foolishness, okay? So you'll be reset to February 25th. Thank you so much, Mr. Resto. And then at that time, you can bring in whatever part of the Constitution you want the court to consider. Okay? Thank you.
All comments, viewpoints, interpretations, and insights expressed in this video are for education and entertainment purposes. All individuals featured in the video are to be presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Please do not attempt to contact, locate, or engage with any individuals featured in the video.